Hello to you, fellow being. Infinite Spiral here, and we are back again in Kerbal Space Program 1.0. So, in our last episode, we managed to successfully establish orbit, and then we deorbited and landed safely and brought Valentina Kerman back, which was great. And we got a bunch of science and spent some of it and lost the footage of it, so what we purchased was advanced rocketry so that we get access to larger fuel tanks and these more efficient Terrier liquid fuel engines. And we also purchased aviation because we have a contract that's sort of going to require that. It's not very effective to use a rocket for it. So we've got all of these nice airplane parts to work with. And we also upgraded the runway so we can hold larger weight vessels. We don't have enough money yet to upgrade our spaceplane hangar, so we still have a maximum of 30 parts, but once we get a bit more money, we can do more interesting things with that. But honestly, we won't have to worry about that until we get even more parts, which is going to require even more science. But yeah, so we've got a contract right now for, we'll go to the map station to check that out. So yeah, we've got a contract here to hit these 3 different points in one single flight. So that's kind of why it requires a plane. It would be difficult and very, I guess, inefficient to use a rocket for that task. And while we were in there at the contract screen, we picked up another little single point visual survey. I thought after getting into orbit that we would get the survey, or not the survey, the contract for rescuing Kerman again, or whoever might be stranded in orbit. That was not, however, the case. Instead, we got a bunch of tests and a few visual surveys, and this one to fly by the moon, so we'll be doing that later on. But for now, let us get into that spaceplane hangar. And I did build one spaceplane, and after trying it out a few times, this is the Peacock, it proved to be a little less than perfect. I don't know if it's just the new aerodynamics system or if my design is crappy. I learned in previous attempts before 1.0 that if your center of mass and center of lift are not in the same place, then it makes control considerably more difficult. It could be that I need my center of lift to be outside of the center of mass, because it seems like it makes a rotational point right there, so that if I'm, slightly off, it just flies way out of whack. So I'm going to change my design, drop those, and just have one set of wings on the front. And make sure we're on mirror. Yes, mirror symmetry. If you choose radial symmetry when you're putting on your wings and different parts, you end up with a bunch of twist instead of a nice, even, planar sort of, I don't know, aerodynamicity. Okay, so we're going to leave our center of lift behind the center of mass. I think that will work out. It might also have been that these tail fins were fucking things up, because I've got so many of them. And yeah, I'm going to change that as well, and switch to just one in the center here. We'll leave the other 2 side ones on. And we will also move these front wings back a bit. To right there. Don't want them clipping into these back wings. Oh, hello. I need 2 of them, not just one. Okay. So that's interesting. Now, we can't put an air... I mean, we could, but there wouldn't be much point. We could put... So we can't put an air-burning engine, or an air-breathing engine on this thing, because we don't have fuel carriers. We don't have fuel tanks that just carry fuel without oxidizer. So if we had the air-breathing jet engine, basically we would end up consuming the fuel but not the oxidizer, I think, and we would end up just with a bunch of extra weight flying around in this thing, just in the form of unused oxidizer. So instead we're using this jet engine, or sorry, this liquid-burning rocket engine. And it's the slightly less powerful of the 2, and I'm hoping, as long as I keep the throttle down low enough, that the efficiency won't be too incredibly bad. But let us just find out if the new Peacock is going to work. New And improved PCAC. Yes. Saved. And let's also use Val instead of... we'll use Jeb. Why the hell not? He needs the experience. She's already level 1. So the previous PCAC, we did have a few attempts flying it, and it seemed to work okay as long as I was really, really careful with it, but as I said, the game crashed. I had like 2 or 3 flight attempts with it, and then the last one crashed into the ground, and then the game crashed into oblivion. So you might have noticed during my intro that I said hello fellow being instead of hello fellow human, which would normally be my intro. It's not really important, but I'd like to be more inclusive of, you know, potential non-human intelligences that might be... Oh, okay. Flying. SAS. Should have had that on the whole time. Okay, this is seeming okay. Yeah. Now, if we get too far off, it will probably fly way out of control, but this is... Oh, this is much better. Yes, this is definitely better. Okay, well, let's throttle up and get some altitude, because we're flying towards the ground. Or the water, rather. Gears up. I don't think that does anything with these landing gears. So, I don't think we're gonna... I don't know that we have enough fuel for this, but we can certainly make the attempt, so... Okay, yeah, this design is working much better. I don't know if it was moving the center of lift back behind the mass, or just removing my ridiculous X-wing formation in the front, but this is far more responsive and far less uncontrollable. Because right there, that would have gone tipping all over the place in my previous design. Alright, let's throttle down again. We don't want to burn all this fuel. Now, number 1... Yeah, there's no way in hell we're going to accomplish this. These are all way far apart. And we've already gone through more than a quarter of our fuel. Yeah, we're fucked. It's just not going to work with this engine. Balls. Well, at least the design is more functional, so we can work with that. In fact, yeah, right there, it would have flown out of control as well, just doing the sudden cutoff of engine. Sort of like that, but way, way worse, because that was still completely in my control. God, can you imagine if you were in an airplane and it did that maneuver? Holy crap. You'd lose your shit. Alright, so we're gonna try and land this beast. I think we should be able to accomplish that, hopefully. Don't get crazy. Okay, we need some thrust. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just enough to get control. Oh god. Nope. That's bad. That's the kind of thing I was talking about before. Straight into the ground. Alright, well, let's go back to the hangar. And let's just test out whether we can use the air-breathing engine, because it's way, way more efficient. So it's, yeah, 22,200 efficiency versus 270. Yeah, let's give that a try. We'll see if it'll work with these fuel tanks. If it does, then that will be the solution to all of our problems. And it's still new and improved, so we'll save it as is. I don't know why it does that bounce. That's really dumb. Weird physics. Take off! Oh yeah, staging. Okay, well, fuck me. It doesn't have air intake. Revert to hangar. Alright, so let's get over here and give it a radial air intake. And I think we will do that at the front. Just give it a scoop or two. Yeah. that should work out. Looks nice, I suppose. And nice and capable of dragging on the ground should anything bad happen. You know what? These gears don't seem to do anything. I thought maybe they would extend on these little center things, but they don't seem to, so I'm going to swap them out for these other ones. Potentially. Does it have to? Okay, these are a little wonky looking. These things have to come way out from the side. I can rotate them, yes. Just to give it a little bit more ground clearance.
And a couple more in the back.
God, that looks dumb. Whatever, it'll work. I assume, I hope. Still new and improved. Saving. Again with the bounce. And okay, the scoops seem to be doing their job, which is good. And yeah, so we're going to be sitting on just a bunch of unnecessary oxidizer, unfortunately. Let's be pointed center of the runway, please. Good. Alright, throttled all the way up, and this thing seems to be pulling to the right a little bit. I don't know why that is. Maybe the central fin? Oh, Jesus, nope. Okay, this is bad. This is very bad. We're going to revert to launch. Do your bounce. Yep. Fancy. Alright, SAS engaged right off the bat. I think that was the problem. So yeah, like I was saying, I think maybe having this tail fin alone in the center might have a slight pull to one side of it. Or maybe it was just the fact that SAS was off. I don't really know. Because it doesn't seem to be doing it this time. Nope, it's pulling to the left now. Weird. Okay, we are flying. Let's throttle back a little bit, because that is making it bouncy. Gears off, does nothing, as expected. So yeah, it's definitely more wobbly now with these gears, but it is functioning, and it is just infinitely more fuel efficient, which is fantastic. So let us flip a UE right here. Wonderful. Alright. Let's set our course for flying over that forest right there. Man, this would be a lot better with a joystick. Oh well. So it seems like this thing is pretty stable. I'm not sure if it noses down or not because of the lift being behind the mast, but it doesn't seem like it does. That might be a different story with the SAS off, but I don't know what's up with those explosion noises, because everything's fine. But anyway, now that we've got our bearings set and we're not flying into the ground, let us set navigation for Tamina's Fault. And not hit that wrong button. Alright, so Tamina's Fault we have to hit at above 18,000 meters. So 18 kilometers, we're at 1.8, almost 2 kilometers right now, so we're going to have to be way up in the sky when we go over it. And I think we've got a ways to go before we get there. Mostly vertical though. So let's just fly in that direction. Oh man, I love this jet engine for the fuel efficiency. Just unbelievable compared to that fucking rocket engine. That thing was very fuel inefficient. Uh-oh. And we've entered the fault, and it seems like we've topped out at 5 kilometers. That's a bad sign. I don't know if we actually can fly high enough to hit that. Which is going to be a problem. We might actually have to make this into a legitimate space plane with some jet thrusters. Stop calling them jet thrusters, rocket thrusters. Alright, let's just find out if we can fly vertically, because I'm pretty sure that's our maximum altitude with this engine. Losing velocity so quickly. I don't know, it didn't seem like we were running out of thrust so much as just velocity. We might have to come at it a bit more gradually than that. Alright, so I am going to make a long roundabout attempt at getting a gradual incline up to the target, and I will rejoin you depending on the results of that. Okay, well, it seems like our maximum altitude seems to be roughly 9 kilometers in the sky. Above that point, the atmosphere is just too thin, we can't get enough thrust, and I mean, if we lost a bunch of fuel, we can't really vent it, we'd have to actually use it, and that would take, I don't know, like 2 hours of flying to get rid of enough to maybe really affect it, and even then, it might not necessarily be enough to get us up to 18 kilometers. So, we are going to go attempt a landing with this thing, just get a little practice at that, and then we'll do a redesign, give it some small, I almost said jet, small rocket engines. I think, yeah, we did get a radially attached thruster. So we will throw one of those on there, or 2 or something, and with those then we'll be able to reach a much higher altitude, and hopefully not burn through all our fuel in the process. But let us get back to the Space Center, shall we? This might be easier with a locked camera. Oh, that's nice. I like that. But we are not on the correct line. And I can't tell distance to the ground from here, so we're not going to do that. God, why do we get so far off center? I wish I had air brakes. That would be great. Oh my. This is... Okay, brakes. Brakes, come on. Come on, brakes. You are not working fast enough. Crap. Taking off. God damn it. Well, judging from that, there might be a key I need to hold in order to make the brakes actually function. So I'm gonna look that up after we perform this loop. And this is way too close to the runway to make this effectively, but oh well. So, right there. Be right back, looking up brake controls. Okay, well, it seems like the only key for brakes is B, which is the same as hitting this button here, so I think it just does exactly what that did. Why? Why are you going off that way? Ridiculous. This is just horrible. Oh my. Oh, that was so close. Holy shit. I'm probably just not going to be able to successfully land this thing. That might be the situation we're in. I really want to get it down, though. We've had so many close calls, and no disasters. Wow. Good timing. Disaster struck. Alright, fuck it. We're on the ground. We'll just hit the brakes. That was the gears. Yeah, gears too. Oh, I don't think that affects anything, so... Okay, so holding B activates these. Pressing it. Yeah, that's all it does. And you can just straight activate them like that. By a click. And yeah, these things just have terrible, terrible brakes. Really wish I had reverse thrust. That would help a lot. Maybe if we shut down the engine, that could help as well. Yeah, it sure did. Well, we didn't lose a lot, just one little wingtip. But let's recover from here. Great, we got 0.8 science from flying and landing. And a little bit of funds back just from the parts. Alright, let's make some adjustments here. So, we want... radial thruster. Can it fit right there? Boy, that's super duper ugly. God, why would they make it look like that? Maybe we should put it on the wing. That looks a little better. I don't know if we can route fuel to it from there. I suppose we can give it a shot, though. Alright, well. That might be interesting. Yep. It's now the Peacocker. And because it's brand new, it no longer has improved. It's just the Peacocker. Sure. Alright, let's just find out. And those need to be on a separate stage of their own. Great. Alright. And real quick, we're going to throttle off, engage these ones, and just see, yes, they do get fuel. So, we'll shut that down, throw them back onto their own stage. Though I'm not sure that restaging them will actually activate them. I might have to right-click them individually again. But that's okay, no big deal. Oh, that's some nice gimbal action there. Wag wag. Anyway, let's take off. Let's not fly directly into the Space Center. That would be disastrous. Those buildings are destructible, and I do not want to pay for that, especially after upgrading them already. That would be horrendous waste of funds. Alright, navigation is set. We're flying almost directly towards it. Now let's get up to 9 kilometers from the jet engine, and then we will continue from there with these liquid fuel thrusters and just find out how well they function. Hopefully quite well, and hopefully not so inefficiently that we run out of fuel. That is my primary concern at this point. Also, I don't know how well they're going to control once we're up there, because they don't seem to be centered in any way. I mean, you know, they're symmetrical along the sides, but the center of mass is lower than them, so they're going to push me down, nose down. So that will be interesting to deal with. Alright, well, we've entered Tamina's Fault, and we just need to get to the high enough altitude, so we're just going to fly straight vertical and engage those, and indeed they did not activate, so... Oh god, nope. Okay. Let us orient correctly before we thrust up. That was silly. That was really, really dumb. Activating just one of them while the throttle was all the way up. I shut off immediately, so we didn't just go flying out of control and... I mean, we did. We lost control, but we didn't explode, which was what could have happened. So, anyway, let's get those going and fly vertically. So yeah, those burn through fuel very quickly, for sure. So we just need to get up above 18 kilometers. Fuel. Are we doing Specific impulse is increasing as we leave atmosphere. Okay, we're going to cut throttle now. Take our crew report now. And we've got that one. Beautiful. And we still have a third of a tank, which I think will actually be okay as long as we disengage these right now and just stick to the jet engine from now on, because our other target is below 18 kilometers and the last one is an EVA report, so we are going to have to land. Probably should have equipped this thing with parachutes just in case, but I think we'll be okay. We did successfully land, even if it wasn't the prettiest landing. So let us accelerate until we get into a controllable level of atmosphere. How is our electricity is draining, and we're at half of that. But we're about to be, I think we can actually throttle up now. There's enough atmosphere for this jet engine. Barely any thrust at all, but that's okay, because we're just using it for electricity. So that's charging again. As long as we're not holding any directions. Throttle all the way up. Also, we are going absolutely in the wrong direction. We need to be going that way. Let's just do that. Alright. So I am going to fast forward until we get there, and I will rejoin you as we approach the target. Alright. So we have entered the area of area BXV. B-XV, excuse me. Maybe that's B-15 of Goliath National Products. Or maybe that's who's funding our mission. I don't know. Anyway, let us go ahead and take our crew report since we are under 18 kilometers. Yeah, we can overwrite that. That's fine. I think. Doesn't take away the previous one. No, so we're good. And we get a new crew report from that, one that actually returns science. So that's wonderful. And now that we've got that, our only target left is to land over here and take an EVA report from the ground. So let us go do that after activating navigation. Wonderful. I am not liking the looks of this bumpy terrain. That might be difficult for the landing. I'm gonna get a better look at that. Yeah, it's right in the middle of it. Oh god, it's like right there. I might have to fly over and figure out exactly where my landing is going to be best approached from. Oh god, is it this little crater here? I mean, I guess it's sort of a wide area that we have to work with, but man, it's very bumpy. I don't like that. Why would they make me take an EVA report from here? That's rude. Didn't they know I was going to use a plane? It is. It's this fucking crater. Well, okay. We have entered. And we're going to fly low into this crater. Just to get a look at how flat it is on the inside. And to get a better idea of the scale of the thing. So it's roughly the same size as the runway, but it is definitely flat enough to land. So I think that is our best approach, because everything else is very hilly, bumpy, unpleasant. Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna do. So, let us make the attempt. I'm tempted to do a nose down loop, but I don't know if there's enough, yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, beautiful. Not a problem. I like flying, it's enjoyable. Let's cut throttle so we can bleed off as much of this velocity as we can as we make the approach. And come down over this hill. Okay. Nope, that was... Fuck. Way too much downward velocity. Fuck me. Man. Alright, well... We're gonna revert to launch, do the whole thing over again, and I will rejoin you when we reach this point. Son of a bitch. There is our target. And this time, I'm gonna do the smart thing, and when I've lined up my approach, I'm gonna quick save. That way we can just quick load and make attempt after attempt. Almost. Alright, quick save. There we go. Cutting throttle now. Start the glide. Get low to the ground. Just follow the rise and fall of the hills. Without slamming into the ground like last time, because that was not great. Not great at all. Sort of hideous, sort of horrible. But this is working out much better. Keeping everything nice and steady. Kind of. I know you can't glide infinitely in this. That was another tweak that they made. You used to be able to glide just forever, apparently. And that is no longer the case. Okay. Good, we're coming in decently slow. That makes me very happy. And we have crested the hill. Coming down into the lake bed, or what appears to be a lake bed. Oh, fucking gorgeous. Hell yes, the quick save was totally unnecessary. Are we? I don't think we're in the area, so we might need to roll for a while. Oh, goodness. Oh, I think we're going downhill. Hopefully we don't bounce too much. Can we enter the area, please? Just gonna turn towards it a little more. We'll just roll over that away. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. I'm not entirely sure that this lake bed actually counts as being part of Jed Fenn's Tranquility, if that was what the place was called. Oh, please count. We're rapidly approaching the end of our rollable runway. Oh no. Oh, it's so much further than I thought. Okay, well, I guess let's just take off from this hill. This is not gonna work. This is gonna be a crash, more than likely. Well, maybe not. Yeah, this is working out splendidly. For now. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse. So let's just cut engines again. And, God, where is this place? Where do we need to land? We are rapidly approaching. Looks like it's either in here or over there. Maybe it's this. I don't know. I know it's called the Tranquility, but I don't know if that means something geographically. Topographically, yeah. Topography. Well, let's throttle up again just a little bit so we don't drift down and fall out of the sky. Man, and I made such a wonderful landing. Oh god, nope, okay, fuck. Well, there goes that wingtip again. But we're in the area. Can we land? No. Okay, okay. Jesus, get the wheels down. Well, we lost all our wings. But otherwise, we're safe. Let's turn on the brakes. Shut down the engine. Jesus Christ. I think we could have done considerably better there if we had known where we were planning on landing, but it was sort of a last-minute thing, so whatever. Let us... Well, I guess we can take some science from here. I don't know if we'll get anything new. Hopefully we do. Grasslands, worth 1.6. Shit. Balls. Whatever. We'll still get a tiny, tiny little bit. It's basically worthless. But at least we'll have completed this contract. So, Jeb, you go ahead and take your EVA report right there. We're not going to climb down. Did that not count? On the surface. Because we're flying, because we're still attached. So we are going to have to climb down. Shit. Well, maybe we can clamber down these. Nice. Alright, Jeb. Take your EVA report. We get our survey data for Jed Fenn's Tranquility. Successful. Pretty sure we can't climb back up that. Or can we? Beautiful, we can! Oh, this clamber ability is awesome. I love it. Well, let's board and recover. This thing is clearly not taking off again. Oh, how very special this was. Recover vessel. Alright, well, we at least completed that. Got 7.9 science out of it. Mostly from the crew reports. But we got some money, so that's good. Not a lot. Basically, we're right where we were before we upgraded the runway. We have just enough to upgrade this, but then we wouldn't have enough for a ship, so... we don't have enough for any science upgrades, so... Not much accomplished here, except for completing a contract. And did that contract perhaps unlock new contracts? Not really, just a bunch of VIP ferries and tourists. Alright, well... I'm going to go ahead and call this episode here. Hope you enjoyed my special flying missions. Originally I was going to say that it wasn't a space plane. I was going to call it a regular plane, but it was. It was a space plane. We had to leave atmosphere and use blah, blah, blah. If you enjoyed what you saw here, go ahead and leave a like. If you'd like to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye now.